Let's get right into this explainer, guys. We need to completely shatter this illusion that marketing is just, catchy slogans and flashy billboards. Because today, we're looking at what it actually is. It is a heavily regulated, mathematically measurable, revenue-generating engine, and it sits right at the intersection of corporate accounting and statutory law. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The true meaning of marketing. 2. The evolution of marketing concepts. 3. The core marketing functions. 4. The digital marketing frontier. And 5. Green and relationship marketing. Let's jump in. Section 1. The true meaning of marketing. The illusion versus the reality. So, is marketing just selling and catchy slogans? I mean, most people out there really think marketing is just buying up billboard space or running a slick television ad. But what actually drives corporate revenue in a legally sound way? Well, in our modern commercial environment, marketing is literally the primary top-line revenue catalyst, and it requires meticulous optimization of your ROMI. That's return on marketing investment. Now, look at this. There's a vital, and I mean absolutely vital, financial distinction that accountants make here between the selling concept and the marketing concept. The selling concept, that's an inside-out approach. It's basically just liquidating existing inventory for immediate cash, and it treats promotional cost as totally sunk expenses. But the marketing concept, that's an outside-in approach. It's totally focused on satisfying customer needs, and here's the kicker. It treats customer acquisition cost, or CAC, as a long-term revenue-generating asset right on the balance sheet. It's a total paradigm shift. Section 2, Evolution of Marketing Concepts, the history of the hustle. Okay, let's trace how we got here. Back in the industrial era, we relied on the production concept. Think mass-scaling products, like Parley G biscuits, just to achieve massive economies of scale. Then, hit the mid-20th century, and we see the aggressive promotion of the selling concept. Eventually, that evolved into the highly data-driven marketing concept in the late 20th century. But today, in the 21st century, we're operating under the societal concept, and this perfectly mirrors the shift from a basic seller's market to a highly regulated economy. In fact, these concepts are now heavily linked to mandatory corporate social responsibility expenditure under Section 135 of the Companies Act of 2013. Section 3. The core marketing functions, the hidden mechanics. So the really crucial point here is understanding the hidden functional gears that actually transform capital into profitable transactions. First, you have exchange functions. These dictate the legal transfer of ownership, and they're strictly governed by the Sale of Goods Act, 1930. Next up, physical supply functions, like transportation and storage. Today, you absolutely cannot do this without digital GST e-way bills. Otherwise, you're looking at immediate vehicle impoundment. And finally, we have facilitating functions. You have to realize every single one of these triggers a very specific ledger entry. Take Bajaj Finance, for example. They completely revolutionized the facilitating function in India by offering instant point-of-sale consumer financing, which just radically boosted market demand. And this brilliantly illustrates how different business models demand completely different approaches to auditing expenses and forecasting tax liabilities. Say a company uses a commodity approach. Well, accountants have to focus on inventory valuation under Ind AS 2. An institutional approach, dealing heavily with middlemen, that leans right on the Indian Contract Act. Or maybe a functional approach, which requires activity-based costing to figure out exactly which specialized activities are eating up resources. And then you have the modern systems approach, running on these massively complex ERP networks. That demands rigorous cybersecurity audits under Standard on Auditing 315 just to prevent data breaches. So you're basically speaking a completely different regulatory language depending on your exact business model. Section 4. The digital marketing frontier, the digital matrix. All right, let's look at M-Business. And guys, M-Business isn't just slapping a website onto a smartphone app, not at all. It's this incredibly complex, hyper-localized ecosystem. It capitalizes on location-based services to trigger a push notification the exact second you walk past a physical store. For the accounting and taxation folks out there, this means instant UPI bank reconciliations for microtransactions, totally automated GST e-invoicing, and the massive capitalization of software development costs under accounting standard Ind AS 38. 250 crore rupees. Think about that for a second. That is the exact potential penalty under the DPDP Act of 2023 for unlawful consumer data profiling. Look, mobile apps and digital campaigns harvest absolutely massive amounts of behavioral data every single second. But gathering that market intelligence today carries immense financial risk. You must, without exception, secure explicit, verifiable consent through integrated consent managers. If you don't, you're looking at crippling corporate fines. And trust me, the regulatory net is only getting tighter. Just look at this tri-mandate slated for 2026. Outbound telemarketing is now so heavily regulated that telecom providers are literally mandated to use AI and machine learning to detect and block unsolicited commercial communication. Unregistered promotional calls aren't just an annoying nuisance anymore. They can trigger the immediate, complete suspension of a corporation's entire telecom resources that would instantly halt their revenue cycle dead in its tracks. Section 5. Green and Relationship Marketing, the Ethical Horizon. First up here is greenwashing. The Central Consumer Protection Authority, the CCPA, is rolling out incredibly strict anti-greenwashing guidelines for 2025 and 2026. If a brand claims a product is 100% natural or plastic positive without hard, independent, verifiable scientific auditing, yeah, it's no longer just a bad PR day, it is legally classified as a deceptive trade practice. That is a statutory violation that can result in severe financial penalties and even mandatory widespread product recalls. And finally, we have relationship marketing, which absolutely hinges on customer lifetime value, or CLTV. Instead of hunting for those quick single transactional sales, companies desperately want to build long-term, highly predictable revenue streams. But here is the really fascinating secret behind how massive companies handle this accounting-wise. To maximize CLTV through things like loyalty point programs, accountants actually have to carefully defer that revenue on the balance sheet under INDAS 115. Seriously, the enterprise cannot legally recognize that profit until you, the consumer, actually go in and redeem those rewards. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. How is your own digital footprint currently being monetized, audited, and legally protected by the brands you interact with every single day? As you scroll through your favorite apps today, just remember, every push notification you get, every loyalty point you earn, and every green, eco-friendly label you read, it isn't just advertising. It's a rigorously audited, heavily regulated gear turning inside a massive financial engine.